name's Nicki Violetti, and today I want to take a little peek at a tool that can be used for projecting profit and loss in a business. Most folks are familiar with the term profit and loss, usually from a sheet in their QuickBooks or a report that they can run in QuickBooks or any other kind of accounting software. But for the purposes of setting targets for growing a fitness business, whether it's a CrossFit gym, a yoga studio, a Pilates studio, an MMA facility, etc., using a spreadsheet where you combine your expense reports from your accounting software and your revenue reports from your business management software, such as MindBody Online, can give you a bigger picture of what's actually going on in your business. So this is going to be video number 1, and I'm just going to touch on a few key points here before we kind of successively get a little bit deeper in and a little bit more comprehensive. So real quick, we're assuming that this facility is in existence already and they have 30 clients. We are assuming that they have some sort of business management software that allows them to do recurring billing. So we've got total running group auto pays of 30. We're assuming that this business does some sort of beginning workshop, whether they call it an on-ramp, a beginner class, etc., but some sort of way that they funnel brand new folks in, and it's a standalone revenue stream aside from the ongoing classes. So we're assuming they get 10 new clients a month in this fashion, and that at the end of the month, 7 of those folks stay on and sign up for a longer term commitment. Now, all of these calculations are really easy to do on the back of an envelope, and this is what most folks will end up doing, is thinking, okay, well, if I'm going to be charging $150 a month, which I've got some pricing down here, if I'm going to charge $150 a month for my classes, I just need 55 people and I'll have $8,000 a month in revenue, which, okay, we see right here that that's actually true, but it's not the full picture of what's going on in this business. So we're going to take a look just at July right now and kind of distill this down into the full picture of the revenues and expenses of operating this little fitness business. So like I said, 30 clients, 10 new beginner clients, converting 7 of them, and I've got these attrition rates built in right here, so you're seeing of those 10, 3 of them are not committing long term, and I've got percentages down here which are feeding those formulas. We've got classes per week, 12. This is a newer business. They've only got 30 clients, so they're starting small with their class offerings, which is smart. Let's just say they offer Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 a.m., as well as 5:30 and 6:30 p.m. So that would be 12 classes per week. We're factoring in group class coaching costs, $1,200. We've got 48 monthly classes, and we're paying per session the coach $25 in this example. Now, most gyms pay somewhere between $20 and $30, depending on the coach, depending on the facility. It kind of just depends. I'm going to use 25 as an average number for this example. So $1,200 in group class coaching costs. We have actually our beginner class costs up here. I didn't touch on those, but we've got our beginner class revenue, holding 12 sessions, beginner class costs of $528, and I'm just using this example. We usually have 2 coaches on in our beginner class. We usually pay both of them $22 a piece, so that's a $44 cost per each hour of our beginner class. So just as an example. So that's giving us a margin of our beginner classes for 65%. We're also going to assume that this facility has some private training going on. In fact, they only got 8 sessions a month completed. We're going to calculate and add into our total revenue only the private training revenue that's serviced. So $400 worth of private training revenue has been serviced. Those 8 sessions, I have the cost of private training, $50 a session in this example. We're also paying out to the trainer 55% in this example. And it's really important to talk about private training revenue service. This is an easy report you can run in MindBody Online, but I've mentioned in other blog posts that it can be really common for folks to calculate the amount of private training sessions sold in a given month, but really that's not money that you can count as income earned. So you want to pay particular attention to this, and in this type of a projection tool, we want to only know what did we actually earn in the month of July. So we're going to calculate revenue serviced. We've got the costs built in there with a 45% margin in this example. Total revenue in July, we're summing up our auto pay revenue, our beginner class revenue, and our private training revenue. So that gives us a grand total of $6,400. Cost of goods sold, which is basically our labor costs at this point. We've got our beginner class costs, what it costs to run our beginner class for the month of July. What did it cost to run the group classes, all 12 group classes for the month of July? And what was our private training costs, our labor that went out for private training for the month of July? So this facility had just shy of $2,000 in cost of goods sold for a gross profit of $4,452. Now I've got some basic operating expenses detailed here, which you can see, estimating that the rent for this facility is only $2,000 a month. In many cases it's significantly higher. Some moderate repairs, office supplies, gym supply costs, utilities, etc. I've got credit card processing fees built in of 3%. I have that built in based off of the total revenue. Obviously, if you have some clients paying with check or cash, then that number won't be as high. But again, we're projecting here. And then month by month, you'll go in and make all of these numbers accurate numbers based off of your accounting expense reports and based off of your business management software revenue side reports for the numbers up top here. So just with this quick little example for July, we can see that even though our gross revenue was $6,400, after operating expenses, we're not profitable yet. We're in the hole $650. So in future videos, we can project this forward and kind of look at where would this particular facility break even, and then also ask some very important questions, regarding different decisions that this person might want to make, such as, what if I want to rent a more expensive facility? Maybe there's another building around the corner that's $3,000, $4,000. How long will it take us to get to where we're breaking even on that, and do we have the working capital to sustain that? Or, right now we're paying trainers and coaches for the classes and for the private training. If you're the owner, how long until this business is making enough such that you can take a salary out in addition to whatever training that you're doing? So these are all important questions to be able to analyze when you're looking at starting a business, or if you're in the middle of a business and you want to know, where am I? It can be kind of daunting, especially if you jump in on business ownership without much previous experience. So I'm hoping that these tutorials will provide some guidance and some insight, and help make the path a little bit more clear for y'all. Stay tuned. I'm planning on doing a couple of videos a month at least, and hopefully they'll be helpful for y'all. Take care.